Hey YouTube, wanted to sit down this afternoon and do a review of my car bag. I recently just put together my first video of my medical kit. This is a video I've been wanting to put together for a while, so here I am. Everybody has opinions on what they feel is going to be essential for them making it home in a worst case scenario, or making it out of an area, whether it be a localized event, disaster, tornado, hurricane, whatever the case may be. This is my particular setup and what I feel is necessary for me to make it safely home. Now, a lot of the videos that I've seen online, a lot of people don't have bags this particular size. The reason that I've went with a larger size bag is because of my back. I had a recent, a pretty significant injury to my back about 6 months ago, and I needed something that's going to be able to help me carry the weight efficiently, and I don't know of any other bag that carries the weight more effectively than an external frame pack. Even though the internal frame packs are a lot more lower profile, they just, to me, and of course my specific injury, they just don't do the job as well. This is a JanSport external frame pack. I picked this up at Dick's Sporting Goods for right at $100. I don't know if you can see very well on this video the actual construction of this thing, but this thing is built like a tank. It has extremely wide straps, and they're actually really thick. It may not look like it in the video, but this is a very thick material, so it doesn't give easy. You can tell by grabbing this thing that this thing is going to be able to handle the load. Now, this particular pack, when I recently weighed it, it's right at 41 pounds with the water, and that's about as far as I'm willing to push it right now with the weight. This does give me a little wiggle room if I needed to add some additional water, which I have the capabilities to do inside. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll get into this bag. On the top, I've got a 30-degree Mount Hardware sleeping bag. Don't really need to go into a whole lot of detail about that. It's a sleeping bag. I do have the capabilities inside of my compartment here in order to raise the temperature of this bag. Now, depending on the weather this year and what it may do, I may end up upgrading this to one of my warmer bags, but again, it just depends on what the weather may do. I have all the capabilities to stay warm with a combination of the sleep system, an emergency bivy, thermal underwear, and my actual tent. So, speaking of tent, on the back side of this, again, nothing fancy, a military sleeping pad, which is absolutely essential for, especially if you are going to be sleeping on the ground or even in a tent. You need to be able to get up off the ground, and a sleeping pad will help keep at least 80% of your body heat still in your body. So that is the majority of, especially with winter approaching. I see a lot of guys that are, you know, they may have just a bivy sack, and that's what they're going to sleep out the, you know, the next couple nights for a couple of days. That's great. That's just not how I'm really designed and built. So I've got a family that depends on me as well as friends, and I need to make sure that whatever I have to do to make it home. This is a snug pack, what's called an ionosphere. Weighs just a few pounds. It is extremely lightweight. However, it did cost quite a bit. It was right at about $200. Now, do you have to have a $200 tent? No. I mean, you can simply go out and spend $60 and get a two-man Kelty tent. It's not going to be quite as efficient and as light as this, but will it do the job? Absolutely. The reason I wanted this tent is because my primary objective, of course, is to make it home, but I'm also going to try to do it with as least amount of contact with people as I can. And I'm going to have to start moving at night. And this material is made out of the material of this tent is made out of the same material that the Marine Corps uses in their Marine Corps tents, which is called no-see-um. It gives you the ability to use light, whether it be reading a map, inside of your tent without giving off a light signature. So, you know, and this thing sets up in minutes. To me, the ability to be able to set up a shelter that's going to keep me dry and warm within a matter of minutes versus spending 2 hours building an emergency shelter, it's pretty much self-explanatory. So I'll go ahead and I'll get into this kit. Let me actually just start with the water containers. They're both 32 ounces. This is the Nalgene 32 ounce water bottle, and I like the fact that it's got the measurements here on the back side. Depending on if I'm cooking, like for example, I've got some Mountain House in here. I need to know I don't want to waste any water. This particular bottle, of course, is BPA free. If you're going to keep it in your vehicle and you're going to store it for long amounts of time, possibly, you need to make sure it's in a BPA bottle. The other one is the what's called the Clean Canteen stainless steel bottle. It's 32 ounces. This gives me the ability to stay warm in a cold situation by simply heating this bottle to a warm temperature and keeping it in my bag, not to the point that it's going to burn me or my sleeping system, but just enough to keep. Actually, there's a survival technique that you can use if you've got a bottle like this, to actually put it between your legs, in between your femoral arteries, and that will give you the ability to, as the blood travels through your legs and carries into your upper body, will keep you warm. Also, too, the ability to boil water is absolutely priceless for me in order to have clean water. I have multiple methods of cleaning water or purifying water, and this happens to be one of them. I've got this in case I need it. It's my SOG, or commonly referred to as my SOG axe. This thing is absolutely wonderful at cutting wood and does a phenomenal job. Decently lightweight, especially for a camp axe. This gives me the ability to be able to cut if I feel like that it may be safe. If I'm far enough away from civilization that it would be safe enough for me to build a fire, then I have that option, or I can use it for other reasons. Here I've got my Bear Grylls survival knife. You know, I see a lot of reviews. There's a lot of people bashing this, and I know their first run series had some pommel problems. This particular knife has never let me down. I have no problems with it. It has a fire striker as well as a sharpener built on the back side. I think that those are two major benefits. And again, I've never had any issues, and until it fails me, I see no reason to replace it. I have more expensive knives, but again, this is the one that I've decided to keep with me on this particular bag. So I'll go ahead and I'll start breaking into this one and work my way in. I picked these up at the dollar store the other day. Handkerchiefs, they're $1. I mean, you know, they have multiple purposes. You know, you could use them to clean a gun, you could use them for medical purposes, whatever. So I keep those there. Got a write in the rain pad if I need to make notes. You know, maybe there's a blockade. Maybe I'm keeping the time of centuries. You know, maybe I'm taking directions. Maybe I'm leaving notes for somebody else. You know, who knows where I'm supposed to be at. Whatever the case may be, you know, that we've got a code. You know, a write in the rain pad is a must. I've seen people talk about you have to use a pencil. You don't have to use a pencil. This is a Sharpie Black Magic marker, and you can write on these all day long and stick them under running water, and it's fine. I've never had any issues with that. And of course, I use the duct tape so that way I can use it for other purposes. This is just a silk lanyard that came on this particular light stick. I never throw stuff like this away. It absolutely weighs nothing, and you know, I can use it for multiple purposes. These things I thought were great because I always want to have some type of low light method. I have a small flashlight. This would be great or ideal for reading maps. You've also actually got the light stick itself, as well as an emergency whistle built in, and you've got a distress. It was a couple dollars at Walmart. You know, why not throw that in your bag? Here I've got two maps, one of the local area, which is going to give me terrain, and I also have a compass. It's actually in my bedroom that I need to put in here. And then I've also got a map of the state of Tennessee, as well as major interstates, intersections, things of that nature. So, you know, if you're going to have a car bag, you need some map of your local area, because again, it could be a localized disaster that you need to get out of that area. And you know, your major intersections are going to be clogged and congested, but this map at least can give you some alternate routes in order to get out of that type of situation. So I carry these in my bag as well. That's it for this compartment here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here next in part 2 to these side compartments and continue on inside the bag. Thanks, guys.